Καλησπέρα Warriors and welcome to another The Rapple video. Today we're doing live on Twitch the ultimate everything you need to know about Freyr guide. So let's get to it. First of all, we're gonna go through the bonuses, then some of the unique tech, and then we're also going to do a build order for Freyr and with a follow-up. I'm going to show you how to do 2 town centers with Freyr, explain things, discuss your winning conditions, your losing conditions, and how you're supposed to play Freyr against most of the gods in the game. So Freyr has this god power that gets more powerful with each age advancement. Probably talking about the Gulen Bursty. I believe all of you have seen this boar spawning on town center to defend against a huge push from your opponent. It also gets stronger by every time you age up to the next. When you go to the next stage, Gulen Bursty gets stronger and stronger up until probably even at the Wonder Age. This Gulen Burst is probably insanely broken. Alright, so then, technologies cost... Do you guys see those bonuses? Yes, you do. So, technologies cost minus 50% food, wood, and gold, but take 150% longer to research. So basically, if you wanna upgrade heavy infantry, for example, you're gonna pay at the cost of medium infantry, which is insane. And this bonus helps quite a lot. Because what you can basically do, you can pre-queue all of your upgrades while edging up to the next stage as Freyr. Literally, what you can do is pre-queue everything. All armory upgrades, all economy upgrades, or line upgrades. Literally, one of the strongest thing about Freyr is this one. There is one thing though that you should be careful about when you do this. You should have enough production buildings. Because the upgrades take longer to research, which means it shut down your military production, same as your villager production from the town centers. If you're getting masons or fortified town centers, you're gonna have idle town center for way longer than your opponent if you do that. So, for the technologies, let's say you are upgrading heavy infantry or champion infantry, what you will need is keep adding production buildings. You're gonna keep adding barracks, you're gonna keep adding, longhouses, great halls, more and more hill forts, and even a few extra temples. So, but that's after you have set up your economy. That's when you hit the mythic age or the heroic age. So yeah, as you age up, remember all the time to keep adding production buildings because they're gonna be shut down by upgrading stuff. So, another thing about Freyr is that hill forts and hill fort units have plus 10% damage. So they have stronger Huskars, stronger ballistas, and stronger rams. These are the hill fort units. Pretty similar, not pretty similar, but maybe a bit similar to the old Odin bonus in the original game, where Odin had plus 20% hit points from the hill fort units. But here for Freyr, hill fort units have plus 10% damage, and the hill forts do plus 10% damage as well. Pretty good for the Asgardian hill fort. It also works there, I believe. So repairing the buildings as Freyr is entirely for free. So let's say somebody is sieging you down with catapults and siege towers. You can basically have 20 berserks repairing your town center forever. Those berserks are going to be working overtime for the rest of their lives. You can basically be repairing buildings and never ever stop, because you will never, it doesn't cost any resources repairing building. So, as you can see so far, Freyr looks pretty much like a very defensive god. And not only they repair buildings for free, but gatherers and dwarves can repair buildings as well. Something that's not possible with the rest of the Norse gods like Thor, Odin, and Loki. Their citizens, their villagers, cannot repair buildings, but Freyr has a unique bonus where gatherers and dwarves can repair buildings. So in this type of situation, let's say that you need your army to fight. You're taking a big fight against your opponent, and you want to use every single of your units to fight. You can actually do that, and if you want to repair a town center, you can use your villagers. So fight with your entire army and repair with villagers. So, few things about the important tech over here. This one, Freyr's Gift. You can upgrade this from town centers. Freyr increases the hit points of all units. This upgrade's favor cost decreases with each age technology research. Yeah, decreases with each technology research. So, I think they changed this in the previous patch. Wait. The hit points of all units. It includes myth units, heroes, all type of units. When it says the hit points of all units, it includes every unit, possibly titans as well. So yeah, you can basically upgrade this from a town center, but it's more like a late game upgrade because you're going to idle your town center. Not idle, but it costs like 150 favor at the start of the game. Then it goes down as you start getting technology. Yeah. So later on, we have the Ulr. Has one of the unique upgrades that gives extra speed to Herdmen, Throwing Axemen, and Berserkers. Basically, plus 5% speed isn't that bad. It may remind you, it's similar to Forseti's upgrade, the Hall of Thanes, which also gives like, where is it? It's right here. Forseti improves the speed of all foot soldiers, especially heroes. So infantry speed plus 10%, hero speed plus 5%, but for Freyr is actually just 5% for the infantry units. Doesn't look like... Yeah, and it also... Yeah, there's something else as well that it gives. It's also the burst of speed after standing idle. So basically, when you have idle units, when you have this upgrade and your berserks, let's say, are idle, they're just sitting and chilling. By the time you put them to attack, or you know, tell them to go to a place or something, they will get this little speed after standing idle, so they will run faster when starting. So this could be good actually when you're microing units, when you wanna dodge arrows maybe. You can take advantage of it by a bit. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's say if you wanna dodge a town center, but yeah, that doesn't matter all too much. Still a little bit of a helpful classical age upgrade. We have the Idalir, I believe that's how it's called. Ulr gives you his famed Udales, yeah, enabling portable rams an age earlier. So you know that you can use Asgardian Hillfort, Asgardian Bastion, they changed the name. Anyways, Asgardian Bastion, you can use it on top of a gold mine. And by upgrading this, you can then start making rams in the classical age. Sounds very aggressive. And maybe all in. You most of the times wanna go for the Freyr upgrades. So this is probably a B tier upgrade in my opinion. Yeah, when you get this upgrade, Ulr vows to defend the realm of men, allowing his Asgardian Bastion God power to be recast with a greatly reduced favor cost. It's like what we saw in the game I just played against Hagrid earlier. That once I upgraded this, it's quite cheap and only takes 13 seconds, looks like. Once I upgraded this, I was able to recast the Asgardian Bastion for only 40 favor. Quite cheap. It only costs favor, right? And Norse gets favor from fighting, so it's basically free, kinda free. Yeah, you're not putting villagers to favor or something. You're just fighting and get favor. Guitar also speeds up unit production and research rate from Hillforts by 20%. Yeah, the training and research work rate plus 20%. Yeah, I think, yeah, I probably didn't mention that. Yeah, it could be useful later on. It's not something you could grab in the classical age, in my opinion. If you have at least 3 or 4 heal forts and you upgrade this, it's very cool. You can spam hash cards pretty quickly. Then we have the Granite Maw. For those who do not know, these rock giants are extremely tanky and they have a special attack. They can, when they attack buildings, they basically, I don't know if you should grab their upgrade to get this. Let me check. I guess upgrades rock giants to Bergrisar. Tanker allows them to regenerate when attacking enemy buildings and deal more damage. Yeah, okay, you have to grab this upgrade. So when you grab this upgrade for your rock giants, they basically eat buildings. They attack buildings and they regenerate hit points while attacking buildings. So let's say you have 3 or 4 of these rock giants with this upgrade attacking a fortress, and your opponent has his heroes on top of you attacking your rock giants. They will very slowly be taken down, very slowly, so they can tank a lot of damage, and you can have army support behind, killing heroes, sniping units, and pressuring. Quite a strong upgrade in my opinion. Feasts of Renown. Town centers enables area heal action, fortresses, town centers, village centers most probably, and adds 1 to auto gather work rate for food. Adds 1.0 to auto gather work rate for food. Oh, so it basically regenerates some food income. 1 villager, but I don't know if it's per town center. Your town center, yeah, it's per town center. Okay, yeah. So you get passive food income. Not only you heal nearby units close to your town centers and fortresses, but for every town center and fortress you have like almost. That's actually quite cool. That's actually very strong. 1.0 auto gather work rate for food. So that actually means that you can have at least, if you have 10 hill forts out in the map and 3 town centers, that's like 13 villagers of passive food income. So that's quite strong. Maybe that's why Freyr has such a strong late game. Okay, I would probably call this an S tier upgrade for Freyr. It's a must grab tech. So pretty important in my opinion, seeing it this way. 9 waves, hero speed plus 10%, heroes plus 10% speed, siege weapons as well, and hero all action damage plus 20%. This all action damage thing means that your heroes, not only their normal attack is increased by 20%, but their special attacks as well. Let's say you jump with Bellerophon on top of a myth unit, you do another plus 20% of that damage on that myth unit with Bellerophon, for example. And siege weapon, all action damage as well plus 20%. So this is quite sick. You could actually do it. You could actually do a combination of these 2 upgrades. The Idalir, enabling portable rams. Okay, that doesn't matter too much in the late game, but you can actually train way faster those rams, and with this upgrade here, they will be doing plus 20% damage. Pretty similar to the one, to the upgrade from Balder, which was the Dwarven Ogre. Like extra speed and extra damage. And then we have the Grasp of Ran. Looks like a water upgrade. Dragon Ships enables charge spawn action. Dragon Ship sets ability recharge time to 400. Dragon Ship sets ability recharge time to damage. You're gonna have very strong dragon ships, but it's very rare to reach a point on Age of Mythology where you fight water at the heroic and at the mythic age, and you get all of these upgrades. I wish we could see more of these upgrades, but after the heroic age, C is not as important anymore, so it's not really worth grabbing in general this kind of upgrades in the current patch. Most people wanna go for water myth units when they fight water. They don't wanna grab some unique tech that would help them. But sometimes it's even just better to just grab a town center instead of getting the unique water tech. It's how Age of Mythology works. Anyways, so let me see if I'm hiding with my face those tech. Am I? Not sure. Yeah. Twilight of the Gods. Yeah, let's move over to Vidar. Vidar is possibly one of the strongest late game gods, the Mythic Age. I believe his upgrades are extremely strong, and Vidar also has this nuclear bomb, the Inferno god power, that you cast. I'll show you guys how to cast the Freyr god powers as well, for not just few things about them. So basically, Fafnir it's this wolf. The great wolf Fenrir will emerge and charge. Wait, that's Fenrir? That doesn't look. They called it Fafnir in the previous patch. Maybe I'm mistaken. Yeah, no. Oh, that's Fafnir. Dragon is the Fafnir. Anyways, so Fenrir will explode on top of your opponent's army and buildings, and I guess most of you have seen that god power already, but you will see that from me. You will see that from me as well. Yeah, Fenrir is the wolf. Fafnir is the dragon here. Mid unit, cursed but devastatingly powerful wingless dragon that, yeah, enemies with fire and poison grants gold to its slayer. Grants gold to its slayer, exceptional against human soldiers and buildings. So every time, the weird thing about this myth unit, every time it dies, it gives gold to your opponent. And I don't quite understand that, maybe because it's a very powerful myth unit, maybe that's why. But still, it's a very powerful. That does AoE damage, throws flames, extremely tanky. That's well against heroes. I think its special attack even does like divine damage over time, pretty much setting up on flames enemy units. It's an amazing myth unit, the Fafnir. Got the Twilight of the Gods, human soldiers plus 10% hit points. That's all for all human soldiers, so it includes heroes, berserks, huskars, everything that is human. So no mid units and not siege units. No naval units either. So adds 0.20 to all action damage bonus against hero. So basically the human soldiers do plus 0.20 damage bonus against heroes. So basically human soldiers counter heroes once you get this upgrade. It's a little buff. It's mainly, you wanna grab this upgrade mainly for the hit points, and then you go for the other part that is bonus damage against heroes. Then we have the Avenging Spirit. Herses plus 20% damage after inflicting 50 total damage. So let's say an Ulfshark, let's say a Berserk has like 70 hit points, something like that, 70, 80 hit points. If you do 50 damage with your Herses while having this upgrade, you do 50 damage to that Berserk. Suddenly your Herser gets plus 20% damage from doing that 50 damage to that Berserk. And then, after inflicting 150 total damage, let's say you have a Herser, and with a Herser you kill a Myth unit. Myth units have great hit points. So you're gonna get, that Herser is gonna get plus 40% damage. And then you get another plus 60% damage after inflicting like 300 total damage. That could probably be a Scorpion Man. Let's say you manage to kill a Scorpion Man. You manage to kill the Scorpion Man with a Herser. Your Herser will have plus 60% damage until it dies. And you can notice those hammers just get bigger and bigger. Like you can see in the, yeah. Then we have the Silent Resolve. I think I love this upgrade. Vidar's stoic silence inspires your berserks to gather strength when idle, slowly increasing their damage when they are still. So berserks, they have as when they as they stay idle, they get more damage bonus. Looks like. I don't think I used that in the previous game I had, but I didn't know exactly the numbers. I still don't know exactly the numbers. Okay, when they're standing still, they get extra damage. Not sure if that leaves though. Maybe what if it? Okay, maybe I'll have to test this after. But I'd like to see if that damage actually stays forever or if it leaves after a fight or something. Yeah, I don't like bonuses that require a unit to be idle either. But that's it, like healing and stuff. Many of these kind of bonuses are like that. And last of all, we have Fury of the Fallen. Vidar grants berserks and temporary damage boosts whenever one of your military units falls in the battle nearby. So, one unit dies, one allied unit dies. The nearby berserks gain plus 15% damage. So this is one of the best upgrades for berserks late game. It's like you're having a constant Enhiral doing the thing with the horn all time, so quite strong, quite powerful. Yeah, and it stacks. And it stacks, so you better be careful. It's an insane upgrade. So you're gonna grab surely these two upgrades. Must grab upgrades, and you're gonna play with mass berserks in late game. And when playing Freyr. So this was about the upgrades and the upgrades and the unique bonuses. I'm not sure if it works if you delete berserks. This upgrade over here. I'm not sure if it works if you delete, but surely worth testing it out. So for now I'm gonna do a build order for Freyr, and then I'm gonna do a game analysis with Freyr, so you guys see. It's not going to be exactly a build order, it's going to be a 2TC build, specifically how you're supposed to play Freyr. So let's say opponent is playing Hades, okay, and we're playing Freyr on, let's put a map like Blue Lagoon. Yeah, let's do Blue Lagoon. So, how are you supposed to play Freyr? I'm gonna be showing you right now. So, 3 starting villagers go to camp. First thing first, if you're playing against Boomy gods, let's say you're playing against Ra or Gaia or Uranus. Uranus isn't that boomy, but against gods that cannot age up too quickly. Then what you can do is start with hand axe and with pickaxe and then hand axe. So if you're playing against aggressive civs, let's say you're playing against Zeus or Set, then avoid getting the economy upgrades early on. Better start grabbing them after you start aging up. So you clicked up through the classical age, then you can start grabbing the economy upgrades. But let's say you're playing against a defensive god like Ra or Gaia, not against Kronos, or even against Hades. You're playing against Hades. Then you grab pickaxe from your ox card. Let's go. One villager, one dwarf into the gold mine. There we go. You build an ox cart with that villager, and you wait for the dwarf to come out. And now the next villager will go to wood. from your town center. Scout for goats. You also wanna get hand axe from the second ox cart, because remember, Freyr have way cheaper but they take longer to research, so you better use the second ox cart to grab the second upgrade that you need. So another one on wood. The next villager will go to food. You train one dwarf as well from the town center. So first ox cart pickaxe, second ox cart hand axe. 4 total on food, 2 total on wood, 1 dwarf and a villager on gold so far. The dwarf goes to gold, then you start training villagers once again. Let's build a house with the berserk, nice and safe, next to the tower. Another villager will go to food, like this. And we're trying to get just enough resources to build our temple, nice and defensively, because Freyr is a very defensive god. So you auto-queue villagers on food until you have 8 total. As you can see in the villager count, we have 6 so far. So 2 more. There we go. You build your temple and you make a door now from the town center. So 8 total on food. Dot will go there. You take the gatherer from the gold mine and you put it on wood. This. You train another dwarf to have 4 total on gold. Fix the ox cart placements. You can garrison those villages into the town center. Now I need you to force drop your dwarfies like this. You get just enough gold. Actually, you don't even have to do that. You just force drop your villagers and you age up through wood. You take 1 from food and you put it to wood. And you also wanna build an ox cart on wood. So the order you wanna have is 7 on food, 4 to wood, 4 dwarves on gold. Like this. Wanna train a few hersers. And the thing about Freyr, the disadvantage that Freyr has, is that like almost a blind god, just like Thor is. So right now, my opponent could be doing anything around the map. My opponent could either be grabbing a town center once we age up, he could either be making army to try and kill me early on, because that's one of Freyr's weaknesses. Opponent could be trying to do anything right now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to be forced to open with army. I'm going to be forced to open with a longhouse and a great hall. I'm gonna build a house, a berserk. Here's another thing about Freyr. Once you have aged up, you put your food gatherers on the chickens. Once you have finished with a hunt. Once you finish with hunt. Because it's too risky if you try to go out. Freyr is very vulnerable at the early game. So better is to eat first the chickens and then see if you can secure hunt outside with the Asgardian bastion. Okay, let's go. Then you're gonna auto-queue villagers from the town center. You're gonna open with a great hall. We almost have enough wood. We'll go enough wood for a longhouse. So 8 on food, and the next two villagers from the town center will go to wood. You wanna have 6 on wood, 8 to food. So let's go again. 8 to food, 6 on wood, 6th one's coming soon. And then we're gonna auto-queue some Dorvis to gold mine. So, let's build a few extra units over there, build a house. And we wanna make throwing axemen most of the times with raiding cavalry. Because throwing axemen are also very good at building. So now we auto-queue some Dorvis on gold. And we make units. So here is very here as Freyr you have to follow, you have to see what your opponent is doing. So until now you're expecting your opponent to be very aggressive against you. So another thing about the Freyr macro, once you have 6 Dorvis on gold, here's the last one, you stop the Dorf production and you auto-queue villagers to food, for example. So around here you're watching for your opponent. If your opponent isn't attacking you, try to get outside. Try to come to the nearest town center where you either secure hand or a gold mine and click your Asgardian bastion, like here. So basically placing the Asgardian bastion over here, we protect the hand. Once it's up, we make sure that we secure the hand and we secure our position to grab this town center. So we can easily grab the town center, having this defending, and then we can move to our next gold mine. There's probably a gold mine around here. We will scout to find out. But this town center will allow to have access to it and auto-queue Dorvis or villagers over there. You can also use your units, if your opponent isn't attacking, you can also use your units to build. They boost the Asgardian bastion construction time, so you can do that if opponent is attacking you. But if opponent is attacking you right now, you wanna use your units to fight, not to build this. So use units to fight if you're getting attacked. Otherwise, finish it off with your army, like this. I also forgot to mention you're going to need husbandry as well once you get some units out. And since my opponent isn't attacking right now, I'm gonna be grabbing the second town center. So that's it here. That's like the 2 town centers Freyr guide. Like remember, while edging up, you wanna have 7 villagers on food, 4 on wood, and 4 on gold. And once you age up to the classical age, you're gonna put 1 more villager on food to have 8 total. And I put another one at the end, but you're gonna have like 8 total, like this. Then 6 total on wood. To constantly produce units while trying to defend and get the Asgardian bastion and the town center, and 6 Dorvis on gold. Once you complete this order, you can start auto-queuing villagers to food, and whenever you have extra gold in the bank, you can use it to auto-queue Dorvis on a gold mine. But for now, these are the basics. And let's say, last thing, if you get caught out of guard as Freyr, another thing you can do. Let's say my opponent was playing smartly and didn't reveal his army to me, and he was waiting for me to try to get the Asgardian hill fort and build the settlement. So let's say now he suddenly shows up with 20 hoplites or something like that. What do you do against that? You just use Golem Bursty to make sure you get the Asgardian hill fort up and the town center. So let's say I'm now getting attacked over here. When I use this, and send the boar over there to attack those units. And this way, not only the Asgardian hill fort will go up, but I will also have my town center up as well. There's still 35 seconds left for my Golem Bursty to die. And always, if you ever play against Freyr, make sure you run away from this thing. This boar is extremely strong, 36 hack damage per second, and it gets stronger every time you age up. So always make sure, if your opponent uses Golem Bursty, retreat. Instantly retreat, you're not gonna win the fight against this thing over here.
Yeah, something fit such.
So this was the build order, and now we're gonna be analyzing one of the recorded games, one of the games I played against Hagrid, probably, a pro player on Retold, on Age of Mythology Retold, and I'm gonna be showing you and explaining to you what I was doing while playing. Replace. Here it is. No, wrong game. Would surely be this one, the Freyr against Ra. So this is a recorded game, was played just today, and I was basically trying Freyr on Alfheim. A very decent map for Freyr in my opinion, but the opponent is playing Ra, and Ra is also very strong on Alfheim, just like Freyr. Pretty equal. So here I was doing the build I was talking about, but with a difference. What you can do sometimes, is also share your ox card. So here, as you can see, I don't have to put a villager on top of the straggler tree to gather wood. I can instead use my ox card, share the gold mine villagers with the wood choppers. So look at this. I'm actually sharing the ox card for the villager there on wood, the dwarf and the gatherer on the gold mine. So the second villager on wood goes straight there. Put on food, as I said. Another dwarf on gold. While scouting with the berserk to get some cows. Let's go on our point of view. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I was seeing as the player playing live. You wanna get your house.
Yeah.
Here I did the build order a little bit different. I only put one extra villager on wood. Because I wanted to rush up my temple around here. So just a little difference, nothing too special. As you can see, I already have the 2 economy upgrades I talked about. So once the game starts, the first ox card does the pickaxe, and the second ox card does the hand axe. And now that I'm close to age up, I'm also upgrading my husbandry after you have the temple. If you do end up upgrading your husbandry, do it after you have built the temple, because husbandry costs wood and gold. So you're gonna get your temple first, that also costs wood and gold, and then start upgrading husbandry.
Yeah.
So 8 on food, as I said, 4 or 5 on wood. If you make an extra villager, it can go on wood, as I did right here, and 4 dwarves on gold. So you might be like, what is this house placement over here? Isn't it risky placing your houses like that? It's not risky. What I'm doing here, first of all, this house only costs 45 wood, and what this house is just checking on this town center. I'm just checking if he's going to go greedy to grab a town center. So this house is pretty much working like a passive scout or something. You can see I got a relic with my Herser that was right here, moving out on the secondary hunt. And this time, I'm only going to open with 1 military production, 1 longhouse, because as I said, if you're playing against a booming god like Ra, who's most probably going to boom, then you can go a little bit more greedy on the town center. So basically, I didn't build a great hall, I saved some wood, so I can grab a second town center. But if I was against Hades, if I was against Zeus, Hades or Poseidon, I would have opened with a great hall and a longhouse. But because we're against somebody that booms, a god that booms like Ra, I'm only building 1 longhouse to train just a few units from it to help me out build this town center over here. You also wanna be scouting with your berserk at the same time. You wanna find out what your opponent is doing. And here I started building this town center. So you might think, Rapul, but why didn't you just straight up build the town center? Why didn't you go for it? Why did you have to build this? Because just in case, if he goes aggressively, if he ends up trying to surprise me, I already have few units to defend. I have few berserks to defend, the Pharaoh for example, or few spearmen, and the two Hersers can build this town center while I'm defending. And if he doesn't attack, then I just use these units to build a settlement. Simple as that. And as I noticed that Hagrid was being so passive, I was thinking, then it's time to use my Asgardian Hillfort. There it is. I cast it over here, while grabbing this town center. I have quite a few units to defend against Hagrid. And before doing this, I first scouted this settlement and I saw that Hagrid wasn't grabbing this, and he edged up through Ptah. When Drag goes Ptah, it most probably means that they're going for a second town center. Since Hagrid, I was checking on both town centers. Since Hagrid wasn't building a town center, I knew he's either going for one town center fast heroic with farms, or village center with farms. And it turns out that Hagrid went for a village center, I believe. There it is. For a village center with farms. So for me, going for a second town center was a very good response to this. You also wanna build walls. Close your base entirely as Freyr. And something abusive you can do when you play Freyr is upgrade stone walls, because it's so cheap as Freyr, it only costs 100 and 100, 100 food, 100 gold. But if you wanna upgrade them, better do it after you clicked up to the heroic age. You wanna save some resources to age up faster. So you can see, Hagrid is going up through Sobek, I'm going up through Ragi. And the thing I was talking about earlier is that with Freyr, you wanna pre-queue most of your upgrades. You wanna pre-queue the Boso, Shaft Mine. I'm pre-queuing all of the armory upgrades because they're all extremely cheap. All of the upgrades for Freyr, all of them are extremely cheap. So you can just, to play Freyr correctly, what you can do basically is pre-queue everything, every upgrade in the game. Just avoid doing it on the town centers. Grab the town center upgrades later on in the game, once you're at the mythic age, once you have many villagers out. Then start getting the town center upgrades, because upgrades take so long to research that you will be way too behind in villagers if you do that, if you upgrade them early, the town center upgrades. But everything else, temple, longhouses, great halls, hill forts, just click everything, every upgrade, just click it up. So, while you're aging up, as I mentioned before, you need to add military production. You need to build many longhouses and many great halls as well. I'm adding great halls here and there because, as I said, same for the town center, same goes for your military production. You have to make units to defend at some point. So basically, if you start getting all of these upgrades, like I said, like let's say medium infantry, heavy infantry, all of these things, you will need extra buildings. Otherwise, your queue is cut off. You are no longer making military units if you have every longhouse getting upgrades. So you're going to need at least, when you're edging up, at least 3 to 5 longhouses and 3 to 4 great halls. Upgrading stuff from there and at the same time producing units. You don't want to be behind in the army numbers either, as Freyr. Have the Draugr to defend against the rock, as well as the ranged heroes that I'm soon trying to train. Here's the first one. Here Hagrid did a nice raid with the Locust. So he used the Locust over here. And I'm like, if I run the opposite way, if I run with the villagers this way, the Locust Swarm will catch my villagers and kill them. If I try to retreat to the Asgardian Hillfort. So what I can do instead is run on the opposite side. Yes, some villagers will die to the myth units, but at least I will not lose all of them. Trying to chase back with the hero and the Draugr.
Good win.
And she got pushed back. So here, because Hagrid casted a second rain and I didn't see any military units, I was expecting Hagrid to go for a fast mythic tornado, something like that. So I started upgrading Masons from this town center. But in general, as I said, you're gonna delay the town center upgrades because they take too long to research and you end up being behind in the villager numbers.
Tilbúin. Hver þar? Tilbúin. Já, skipan.
Got a question from the chat. Why did I choose Bragi over here? And the answer is because you don't wanna go hyper late game against Ra. At some point you're gonna be aggressive with flaming weapons or use flaming weapons to kill Osiris or something like that. Both god paths would work in my opinion. But here instead I prefer to go flaming weapons, I prefer to go Bragi. Because Ra is known for its camels. Ra has very strong camels and I know my opponent is gonna play camels against me. So I wanted to get the berserks, the unique berserk upgrades, which are Swine Array, now that's for Herdman, which are Call of Valhalla, more hit points for my berserks, as well as Swine Array. I upgraded that as well because I started making Herdman, because Herdman counter camels. So here there's a little fight over here. Hagrid is already up through Osiris right here. So he has the Ra economy, I have the Freyr economy as well. So we're both pretty equal at the moment. But Hagrid is an age ahead. Here some units got stuck over here, like this, and I lost a few of them, not sure why they were stuck. I retreated back. I tried to get more production buildings out, and as you can see I'm trying to upgrade as many things as possible at the same time. Hagrid grabbing a third town center, and I be like, I cannot get out of my base without using flaming weapons to kill Osiris and pressure the position over here. So I'm just waiting until I get all of these sick upgrades that I'm getting, Swine Array, Call of Valhalla, this kind of upgrades, get more armory upgrades as well, and until I have a decent amount of army to take a fight with flaming weapons and push him back. His army was split, so I had to split my army as well. Reading cavalry stopped chasing, so I put them back on the run. There we go. Have units to defend here as well. And here I had some extra gold in the bank, so I used it. I traded it to get food and age up through Vidar. So I'm gonna get the Fenrir Explosion God Power. So here I'm like, okay, if he tries to pressure now, I have Ghoul and Bursty to defend the boar. And then, once I push him back with the boar, I'm gonna be at the Mythic Age with flaming weapons and with the Fenrir, the Inferno God Power. I'm not committing into a fight, I'm just fighting tiny little bit. And here that I'm ready to fight, I use the Ghoul and Bursty, I chase him back, try to do as much damage as possible. Here Hagrid caught my Dorvis out of position, was well done from him. I managed to kill plenty of those chariot archers. Burst here died from Son of Osiris because it's considered as a myth unit. Son of Osiris is strong against myth units. And now I'm ready to use the Inferno God power. Splitting the army into two halves because you're gonna surround your opponent as the Norse player. And now this is where I'm using the Inferno God power. What Hagrid did so good over here, he used Shifting Sands to save his Son of Osiris, and it actually worked. Where did he shift? He shifted his units over here with Shifting Sands. So Osiris survived, half of his army died though, and lots of damage was done to his town center. Let's see it. There it is. So at this point, and as you can see, once you're at the Mythic Age, as the Freyr player, you just grab everything.
Tilbúin.
You cycle through your town centers, through your hill forts, through your barracks, through your great forts, through your armories, and you just pre-queue everything. You just click everything, every upgrade, because they're extremely cheap. And you want them as fast as possible. You want to start their research as fast as possible because they take way too long to be researched. So this was the example game of Freyr. I'm way too ahead right now. The game continued just for a tiny bit, just for a little bit, 5 minutes or something. And now, at last, I'm going to show you how to use the Inferno God power, because many people have been asking, how is it designed? How are we supposed to use it? How can we know where to send the Fenrir to explode? So I'm gonna show you now. Those games. Oh, wrong. Skirmish. Freyr. Let's go. Is he better at late game than other Norse? Freyr is the best late game Norse in my opinion. From all 4 Norse, Freyr is the strongest at late game. So let's use cheat code. Ignore the UFOs.
Tilbúin samþykkt. Skipan, já, ég vil satt. Tilbúin, ég vil samþykkt.
And here we have Inferno. So how do you use it? First of all, you select the God power over here. Select it. And now it's like you have to click it like twice to be cast. But how does it work? Let's say I wanna use it on top of this town center. I first click it, and this blue thing appears. This arrow appears. So I have clicked this God power once, one click right now, and I get this thing over here. If I want it to explode on the town center, you control it like this. I want it to explode on the town center, so I'm going to position the arrow on top of the town center, like this. Maybe a bit more on the side. One click, second click, this thing appears, and now we want to position the arrow. Where do we want Fenrir to explode? So once you use the Fenrir, the Inferno God power, it damages units and buildings on its path, all the way until it reaches the town center where it explodes like a nuclear bomb and does most of the damage. So if I wanted to send it on the zebras, for example, I just point the arrow over there. I'm controlling this with my mouse. I'm just doing circles, that's it. Does it damage your own units? No, it does not. So let's do it again. So one click, second click. Let's point the arrow on the town center. Let's do it a bit more far away, like this. And the third click will cast the God power. So here's the third click. Look at the damage it does on its path. And here it explodes. A very strong God power in my opinion. Extremely strong God power. And pretty much, I'd say it's probably stronger than Earthquake. It also burns units. You can see the corpses are black. Dark, I mean. Anyways, so this was the guide for Freyr. Everything you need to know about Freyr. If you enjoyed watching this, if you learned things, make sure to leave a subscribe if you are on YouTube. And if you're on Twitch, click that follow button. I'll see you in the next guide.